Are you planning to study in Australia and you're not sure of the course that you want to study that can help you settle in after your studies? Today's video, I'm going to be sharing high demand courses that can get you a permanent resident after your studies. But before we go ahead with this video, I want you to think about why you want to study those courses that you're looking out for. What are the future prospects of that course that you're coming here to study? Will this course after studies get me permanent resident? I understand that not every student would want to stay back in Australia, but for some people that want to stay back and start a new life in Australia, those courses that you're going to choose, are they going to give you that opportunity to stay back and get a permanent residence after that? You would also ask yourself, what are the prospects of me studying these courses job-wise? These are all the questions that you need to ask yourself before you choose a course. Not all courses in Australia can get you a permanent residence, even if you come here to do your bachelor's, master's, or PhD. I always advise people that before you choose a course, make sure that that course is in high demand in Australia, except like I said before, you want to study in Australia and go back to your country, and also research that even if you go back to your country, that the course that you came here to study would also benefit you wherever you're going to. So for those of you that would want to stay back in Australia after studies, I encourage you to always check the skilled occupation list. It is a list that the government through the Home Affairs bring out every financial year. There are different occupations there. So with that, you will know, okay, when I finish studying this course, it is always high in demand in Australia. I would have an opportunity to actually apply for permanent residence. So now that I have mentioned this, I am going to be talking about high courses in demand in Australia. Also have in mind, the courses that I'm not going to mention here does not mean that if you study those courses, you would not get your permanent residence. Always check the skill occupation list and the priority list. It will guide you on what courses that are in demand. First course in demand is social work. So social work has always been in demand, especially if you check the skill occupation list and the priority list. They would always have it there. If you're looking for a course to come here to study, consider social work. You can study bachelor's or master's in social work. You can come here to do community service, counseling, psychology. All these courses would also get you a permanent residence. Social work is one of those courses that can lead to permanent residence in Australia. If you have studied social work in your country and you have experience as a social worker, you can actually assess your qualification and experience and come in through the skilled migration pathway. The next on my list is trade certification. When I say trades, I mean carpenters, plumbers, welders, mechanic, all those kind of handyman. If you already have experience on this particular kind of job, you can actually assess your qualification and experience and also come in through the skill migration pathway. If you're looking for a course to study, why not also think of coming to Australia to get a certification on this particular course, and I can assure you that you get your permanent resident on time. So the next one I'm going to talk about that can get you a permanent resident after your studies is education. You guys might have heard in the news that teachers are in demand in Australia and there are ongoing teacher shortage in Australia. If you're thinking of a course to come here to study, consider studying education because you have a better chances of getting a job for early childhood education. There are high in demand there. Primary and secondary school teachers as well, and special need teachers. You can find yourself in that field. You are sure of getting your permanent residence on time. This is an opportunity for someone that is a teacher and you have your qualification, you read education, you have your teacher's training certification to go through the assessing authority to see if you can come in through the skilled migration pathway or even the employer-sponsored visa. Next course that I'm going to talk about that can get you a permanent resident in Australia, information technology. So when you're coming here to study information technology, why not study the following like system analyst, software engineering, cyber security, like is on high demand here. If you can come in and study that, I can assure you you're going to get a job faster. You can also study computer science and data science. There are some courses that I'm not going to mention here. It's not as if that they are not in demand because I use the skilled occupation list and I also researched using the job apps for whatever information that I'm sharing here. So next one is engineering. Australia is known very well for mining. So if you're coming here to study mining engineering, you're on the right track. Electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, civil engineering is also in high demand right now in Australia. These are the engineering courses that you can come here to study, and you're sure of a faster permanent resident after your studies. Next one is nursing. I know a lot of you have been waiting for that. It's not a news that nursing is in high demand in Australia. Nurses are needed to cater for people. If you're looking for a course to study, why not consider becoming a nurse? So with nursing, you can get your permanent residency on time. If you're already an international nurse and you want to come to Australia, why not go and get your registration done through ANMAC and APRA so you can practice in Australia? Nurses are really in demand. You can do graduate in nursing, diploma in nursing, masters in nursing, bachelors in nursing, and you will still get your permanent residency after your studies. So the final one I'm going to talk about is for people that are in medical fields and science field. So if you know you're a surgeon, a dentist, a pharmacist, and also medical lab scientist, radiology, and the likes, Australia is calling you. If you come here to study this kind of courses and after your studies you gain experience on them, you would be getting your permanent residency on time. So if you're looking for what to study in Australia, this is an opportunity for you to check out these courses that I have mentioned here. Also check out the Priority List Australia and Australia Skilled Occupation List. Those lists will guide you on occupations that are in demand, that after your studies and you gain experience, because after you finish studying in Australia, you have the opportunity to stay back with visa 485 to look for a job in Australia. So even if you have 2 years, 3 years job experience on that job, you have the opportunity to apply for your permanent resident when you're done. So guys, this is what I came here to share with you guys for international students that are planning to come here in 2024. To check out courses that I have mentioned here. You don't want to waste a lot of money coming to Australia, and after you finish, you'll be struggling to get a permanent resident. Like I mentioned earlier, not everybody that came here to study want to stay back. So even if you don't want to stay back, still you need to study something that has a job perspective after you spend a lot of money, because Australian school fees is not cheap. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you do, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Follow me on my Facebook page, Naija Mom in Australia. Share this video to your friends and family. You never know who you're helping with this information. Till I see you next time.